see. Justice, equality, racial harmony. What can one person do? I'm one, you make two. I will stand with you. Together we are better. What is color? What is race? Would you like me better if we had the same face? My blood beats red, my heart beats true. With so much love, my brother, for you. What is color? What is race? Would you like me better if we had the same face? My blood beats red, my heart beats true. With so much love, my sister, for you. Picture the world with me. This is what I see. No war, no poverty, ethnocultural harmony. I heard one person say, love will make the way for peace and equality. This encourages me. What is color? What is race? Would you like me better if we had the same face? My blood beats red, my heart beats true. With so much love, my brother, for you. What is color? What is race? Would you like me better if we had the same face? My blood beats red, my heart beats true. With so much love, my sister, for you.
Yeah, we're thinking globally, we're acting locally. Want somebody, tell me what it is. Yo, practice like that does not bend, but if you bend your mind, you just might find a friend.
Find a friend. What is color? What is race? Would you like me better if we had the same face? My blood beats red, my heart beats true. With so much love, my brother, for you. What is color? What is race? Sweet love. Would you like me better if we had the same face? My blood beats red, my heart beats true. With so much love, my sister, for you.
What's happening, y'all? It's Will the Thrill from Wilfred Ninja Frelix. Unity featuring the Queen.
U-N-I-T-Y, that's a unity. Love a black woman from infinity to infinity.
Freedom from disturbance means much more to me. anything, than anything. Unbothered by the world, you showed us to stay strong. So strong. On my eye, you have stirred a feeling not felt for so long. Honeydew sweet, honeydew smooth, honeydew, I feel so wonderful with you. Honeydew sweet, honeydew smooth, honeydew, I hope that you feel that way too. 'Cause honey, I do. Unbothered by the world, shoulder stand strong. On my eye, you have stirred a feeling not felt for so long. Yeah, honeydew, that's you. Honeydew, I feel you. Hey, honeydew, so sweet, so smooth. That's you. Honeydew, honeydew, sweet. Honeydew, honeydew, sweet. Honeydew, honeydew, sweet. That's you. Honeydew, honeydew, sweet. Honeydew, honeydew, sweet. Honeydew, honeydew, sweet. Honeydew, so sweet. Honeydew, so sweet. Honeydew, so sweet, baby. Oh, so sweet to me. Honeydew, sweet, so sweet. Honeydew, sweet, so sweet. Honeydew, sweet, so sweet. You are so sweet, so sweet. You are so sweet. You are, that's you. You are, you are, you are, you are, that's you. You
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this show. We're very excited about today here on the Indie Live Spot. We do have a special guest today, and we're very excited about her. And as you can see, Michon Young is in the house. Welcome our guest, everybody.
Hey guys. Thank you.
Welcome, Michon. We're so excited about having you on the show today. So thank you for taking the time to be here with us.
Well, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. We just got through playing a track actually from the collection of music that you sent us, and it was very nice. Of course, we're going to get into some more, but the particular track that we just played was Honeydew. Isn't that right, Grizz? Is that what I had on the list? Yeah. So, yeah, why don't you tell us a little bit about that before we get into everything else?
Honeydew. That's
Yeah.
my latest song that was just recently released. And it's just something just to acknowledge that special someone in your life. That's a pet name that I have for my special someone. And it's so funny. I was just literally walking around the house calling my husband that name, which is I've been calling him that for some time. And the lyrics just came to me, sweet and smooth, and there was birth to song. And so that's it's nothing deep about that song. It's more or less just a good, hopefully feel good, smooth song that you can just kind of play and cuddle with that special somebody.
Awesome.
Oh, Lord.
It was, yeah.
Very nice. Now, for those of you watching today, you know that my co-host is Grizz and Joyce. You see them on the screen. Ray Mack is not on the screen, but he is in present with us. He's sitting right behind me. But
Ray Mack is in the back.
he's in the back. He's in the back. So you might hear his voice, but you may not see him. So just to let you know.
You can't see, but it's definitely heard.
Hmm. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So, Michon, when did you know that you had this talent for singing? When did you start?
Gosh, I started when I was young. I think it's the same story that a lot of singers have. Started in the church, and my mother was the church musician, so it was not an option for me to start singing. But I don't think I really thought that I could do anything, other than just be in the choir until my dad, um, started having me doing home solos and stuff like that. And then that's kind of when I realized that I enjoyed singing. I'll just say that I enjoyed singing. And I started writing, because I didn't think that I sounded good on any of the songs that were on the radio. So I started writing, just to write songs that I thought would fit me, because I'm like, I sound a hot mess on stuff. So that's where the writing started, at the age of 12. And I was writing pretty adult lyrics, pretty mature lyrics at that time. And I was writing about relationships that I would see in my family. Uh, and they were pretty adult lyrics, not anything vulgar, but they were just really mature for a 12-year-old. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
12-year-old writing about love, and I think the first song I wrote was "Baby, I'm Leaving You." What do I know about that at 12 years old?
Yeah.
That's that. But at the time, my aunt and uncle were getting a divorce, and so I wrote about that. But so that's the, I guess, the long-winded answer of it. Started at a very young age, and it was my dad who said, "I think you may have something special, and you really should consider it." But my mom, on the other hand, was like, "Go to college, get a real job. Don't no." My dad was, "I think you should," and may he rest in peace. But I finally did.
Hmm.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's amazing how you said, your mother was a church musician. And when you're born in a church family, there are two things that you have to do or die: go to church school or die.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. That was it. Yeah, that was it.
You said we weren't given an option. And I was amazed when I heard people said, "Oh, I didn't go to church." You did it. You can do that. You cannot go to
Right.
church.
Right.
You quit school. Can you do that? Not in my
Yeah.
family. So I went to church and school just to live.
Yeah, and that's the truth. I mean, my grandmother was one of the ministers there as well, so I just, there was not an option for me at all. It was usher board, it was church, choir, it was every auxiliary. I think I was on, and to this day, if I miss services, I feel a certain kind of way, because that's how I was raised.
Right.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
going online. What do you think about all this now, about how has it affected you as an independent artist in terms of social distancing and live streaming, etc.? Elaborate on that for us.
Wow, it's
Even going to
been.
church.
Yeah, well, thankfully, due to technology, I'm still able to get the word on a weekly basis, on a regular basis, and so that's what we're doing at home. I think my church has resumed somewhat services. They have a social distancing plan, but I'm still a little bit uncomfortable, not yet ready to do that yet. So we've been doing everything from home. And to answer your question, I think we've learned so much over the last few months in having to do so many virtual, whether it was performances or interviews, getting equipment that we didn't have before. So we're still learning, but it shows you just how much, I think, for me, it's shown me just how much I need to become familiar with so many other different things and not rely on others to do stuff for you, so that when things do happen, you're the knowledge is that you know how to do it, you know. So I'm actually happy in many ways that we learned as much as we did. You know, I hate that it had to happen because of this, but it's been a learning experience. It's been challenging, and it's been frustrating as an artist for me. Not so much as financially, but I like the people, and I like to get on stage and interact with the people and talk to the people and love on them.
Yeah.
So that's been the toughest for me, is not being able to interact with the people, because I am pretty. I like when I'm on stage. I like to come out and just mingle and socialize. So the virtual performances have been, you know, I've enjoyed them because I don't have to go through an airport. I don't have to travel.
Yeah.
But I do miss, you know, just being around the people and just you know, just talking about just regular everyday stuff with people who support you, because that's what I do and that's what I love.
But this giving you a chance to actually learn how to operate these computers and things like that. That's what it's really do. Most artists don't even know. The only thing they know how to do is do their music, and that's it. Nothing else. But this gives you an opportunity to learn this.
Oh yeah, yeah. And if you refuse to, then you're out of the game.
That's
It's
right.
not an option. It's not an option anymore to, you know, to whether to know and learn about different things, different technologies. It's not a nice to know. It's a need to know. And you know, we don't know how much longer we'll have to be, you know, in this type of situation, in where we're virtually doing everything. So it's important, you know, just to get on top of it, and you know, just learn as much as you can, and that's what we're trying to do. You know, still making mistakes, but at the
Yes.
end of this, I will say this: we will be technically astute. I know that.
Yeah, that's right.
Until there's an upgrade or new software that we
Right.
have to the learning curve all over again.
Again, yeah, yeah,
That's my challenge. It's like, oh, there's an upgrade. I don't know if I want it.
right.
I know. It's so crazy.
Well, that's all about the times. Instead of changing, it's going to change a lot more. You know, it really is.
Yeah, yeah,
But,
yeah.
You know, you just sit back and think about this, what's going on right now. No one knows when you actually going to come up out of this thing.
Right,
You know, they keep
right.
talking about 21, maybe 22, you know. It's a daggum shame you have to be stuck in your own home. You got to be social distancing and wearing that mask. And if you're standing out, people are walking around with the mask in their homes. You know, but they don't understand they can mess up their immune system.
I don't get it, but I just, you know, through it all, I think we have to just. I try to find a positive, you know, spin on everything, and this is
Right.
one. Even though there have been so many deaths, but you will stay depressed if you think about all of the calamities that are happening simultaneously.
Right.
So for me and my house, you know, we try to just think of and do things that would uplift us. We turn off the news a good 3-4 days out of the week, and just kind of enjoy each other.
Yes.
This is the longest I've been home for about two and a half years now. This is the longest stretch of time I've been home. So reconnecting with my husband and reaching out to loved ones, and just embracing my family much more. There's been some beauty in that. So there's been a beauty, I think, in many households where they've had to reconnect. So rather than look at it in terms of, you know, I'm tired of being at home too, but I'm going to continue to just thank God that we're making this through this, and that, you know, there's still something to smile about and be joyful about, even in the midst of it all.
Well,
I know you can't see, but Gris is trying to. We can't. Your level is a little bit lower, Gris. That's why I can see you. That's why I know you were trying to. You had a question, right?
Yeah,
Oh, I'm sorry.
Chuck is the one that bowled me over, like always. I had another question. When, since we know that you grew up singing in church, because that was part of your upbringing. I forgot the gentleman's name, and I had it on the. It was in the bio. The Reverend Winans.
Yes.
One that discovered your vocal talent. Tell us about that part up to now. What that transpired from that.
Well, when I moved to Detroit some years ago, I honestly was not thinking of singing professionally, other than doing weddings and sadly funerals and other things like that. I never thought about really pursuing this. I did just as my mother told me to do, and I finished school and had a great job and was blessed in the human resources field for years. But I'd gone to Pastor Winans' church just for a service, and then ended up becoming a member of that. Well, for 7 years, I was a hospitality person at the door. That was the auxiliary I was a part of. So I would greet parishioners every Sunday. And then it felt as though God was telling me it's time to use my gift. So I joined the choir, and probably about 3 months in, I literally sat in the very back of the choir. I didn't, say, I think I can sing. I didn't do any of that. I just kind of, came and did what I felt spiritually, I was being led to do. And this young lady who was sitting beside me said, I think this girl right here can sing a little bit. And so
a little bit, right?
And so I was able to do a solo. They asked me to do a solo, and he heard me, and probably about 6 months later, he was coming out with his first project. And so he asked if he could give me a call. And I'm thinking, okay, really? You're going to give me a call about something. So a lot of people, had joined the church to become a singer, to be a part of that. But I wasn't thinking about that. So, but I still had didn't think that would happen. I'd never had any experience in that. And then he did call, and I was speechless for the first 10-15 minutes, but he personally called and said, I've got my first solo project coming out, and I'm going to debut it in Detroit, and I'd like you to be my background singer. So it's myself, his son, and Tim Bowman Jr. And it was just absolutely crazy to go from singing in the back of the choir to being able to sing with him. And from then on, it started a relationship, a friendship, and I was blessed to be able to go to a number of different places with him. And that's kind of where it started, for me. And interestingly enough, he told me during one rehearsal, he said, write your autograph, sign this paper. And I said, but why, Pastor Winans, why? He said, because one day you're going to be signing an autograph. And during my first CD release, someone asked me to sign my CD, and I cried. And I know they thought I was crazy when they were asking me, because I remembered that moment where he said, a few years beforehand, one day you're going to sign your name.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
Full circle.
Yeah.
That is so awesome.
Yeah. And
didn't you also went with him to the Tyler Perry Studios opening?
Yeah. That was bananas. That was crazy. Tyler Perry, when he first opened up the first studio that he opened up, he had asked Pastor Winans to be the special guest at he had a church service that he had on his grounds. He actually had a small chapel built on his property for this occasion. So at this event was Oprah Winfrey and Miss Patti LaBelle and Gladys Knight, and at that time Ruby Dee was still alive. She was there, Jermaine Dupri, and I mean it was just a who's who of people. And I'm thinking, what am I doing here? So, when we get there, you have to go through 2 levels of security gates before you even get up to the property. Right. And when I got out the car, well, his son, Marvin Winans Jr., they're used to this environment. Me, not so much. I get out of the car and I'm looking like, what do I do? Do I say anything? People are looking at me like I'm the help because that's how I was acting. Like, would you guys like some coffee or something? But it was an amazing experience. And the fact that he asked me, I knew beforehand that I was going to do a duet with him because he said, I want you to do Ain't No Need to Worry with me. Like you and I together, I just got used to being your background singer. Now I got to sing beside you.
Now you actually have to be like up front with.
Right. I'm like, this is too much. So I did, but I did not know who was going to be there. I knew Tyler Perry was a huge deal, but I had no idea who was going to be there. This was just another assignment for me. I didn't know, I didn't know they would literally be in the front row and that I would be a few feet away from them singing. So you talk about nerve-wracking. It was, and to this day, that is the most wonderful experience I had. I mean, I can say this even though my husband's around, but Boris Kodjoe was at the table right beside me. And so I was like, Lord, help me on today. Help me on today. Help me. And I'm still married, so yes, he helped me.
So it was like, this girl, he's one fine dude.
Yes.
About doing all of that, have Tyler asked you to perform in any of his stage plays and things like that yet?
No, I've not received any requests, but I tell you that. Not yet, but I will say that I'm sorry, that was me. But I will say this, that after the show, at the airport, Mr. Bell had come over to talk to Pastor Winans right before we were boarding our flight. And so they hugged and so forth. And she said, you sound like my girlfriend. And I've not heard anybody that sounds like my girlfriend, Miss Baker, Anita. She called Anita, but of course I'm saying Miss Baker. Right. She said, I've not heard, and you have my good friend's undertone, and that was just huge coming from Mr. Bell. So I've not been asked by Mr. Perry, but that compliment from Mr. Bell was enough to last me for a while.
I bet you were on cloud 30 after that one.
Yeah, I was on that. I was all the way just floating. In fact, Pastor was joking with me. He says, "Okay, starlet, go on and go back to coach."
I can hear him saying that. I don't personally, only what I see on TV and videos or whatever, but just hear him saying that. But you see, right now, this is just awesome. What a blessing, God, But people will hear this and say, "Oh, her career has been so easy and smooth." Won't you tell us the part, because people have that impression when they see something happening and they hear, okay, yes, you have this and that, but what are some challenges that you had?
Oh my God!
For that, to be where you are right now.
There as an independent artist, you're doing everything. And I literally did not know anything about this business. I was comfortable in my HR world, going and managing people and coming home, and that was it. So I knew it was God that was telling me to just move forward, with using my singing and writing gift, because honestly, I was very comfortable in that world. But I took that chance, and when you take that chance, you also have to know that it's not going to be easy. There's so many resources, financially, that we put into everything that I've done. I've done solo, my husband and I have done solo, from our videos to the musicians, and all of that. I mean, it's a everyday grind. It's getting doors that you thought would open that are not being opened, but it's keeping that determination that I'm not going to concern myself with the doors that are closing. I'm just going to continue to deliver what I believe is in me, and God will do the rest. That's my spiritual self saying that, you know.
Yes.
But it's everyday grinding. It's everyday motivating yourself. And I can't tell you how many times we thought that, you know, we this was going to happen or that was going to happen, and then it didn't, and there's disappointments along the way. And not to mention that I typically travel with an 8-piece band, so I've got to do all the administrative things for that as well.
Oh,
It's the behind the scenes is something else.
Yeah,
It's
it
it's a
something
little
is.
else.
circus back there. Yeah, it's a circus back there.
Right.
It really
I,
is.
I
It
told my
really
band,
is.
everybody, one time I told my band, I said, I really believe everybody should lead a band at least once over a
Yeah.
period of time where you handle literally everything, the playlist, the charting, and you do all this work and you send
Yeah.
it 3 months ahead of time, and then you have a rehearsal and you go, you didn't even look at it, did you?
You didn't even look at it. Oh my gosh. You didn't even look at it.
You didn't even
Yeah.
look at it.
Yeah.
You know, you
You
got the
didn't.
MP3s. But what I
Right.
hear from the story is like a Ruth Boaz type thing that you were just serving. You're just saying, okay, I'm going to usher, I'm going to do. And there was a Boaz, not a husband Boaz, if you
Yeah.
will.
Yeah.
But there
Yeah.
were, you know, it's like God has a way of putting you in situations so somebody can find you. That
Yeah.
He has the best orchestration that you can have,
Yeah.
and that, you know, that's inspirational, or it inspires people like me who that we've had independent artists, because we have some in the chat room as well that are in the grind. Gary's an independent artist, I am, and I too, and we're always in the grind, always trying to be creative.
Yeah.
And have you and have doors when you had a door open for you and then shut.
Yeah. Yeah. People think,
You know what I mean?
yeah, exactly.
All kinds
Exactly.
of things happen.
All kinds
Yeah.
of things happen, and that's why you can't. I always tell everybody, you can't just focus on the likes in this business, because that's not always gonna happen. You know, sometimes we look for, well, if they don't like it, then I'm a failure. Or, you know, you have to self motivate yourself. You have to, every single day I wake up and say, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna continue to do this. I'm gonna continue to give it my best. I'm gonna continue to work in excellence. And I'm not gonna focus myself on the right or the left, but I'm gonna have this tunnel vision. And
Hey.
you know, that's what you have to do. You have to literally look straight ahead and say, if this is what I want, this is where I'm going. And I'm not going to let you stop me from where I'm going. And it sounds simplistic, but it's not. You know, it's not always easy to block out the noise. But if you can block out the noise, there's so much power in blocking out that noise and just truly looking to inside and up, for me, up and in, to block all that out. And that's worked for me. So
Yeah.
Well, I see that you're not afraid of being successful. I can see that. You know? But you know, you look at a lot of the independent artists, you know, they still, how I want to say it, they still doing the garage music and afraid to take it to the next level. But I see that you wasn't afraid to take it to the next level. You was kind of wondering how you was gonna get there, but you got there.
and you know, we're still trying. You know, every day is something new. You know, you can't. For me, in leaving a position where I was doing well financially to come to an unknown, it took a lot of faith, you know, to do that. And there were times, you know, along the way that you doubt, you know, that you wonder if this was the right decision. But if it's in your heart and you still have the passion for it, you do it because you love it, you know, do it. And actually, that actually resonates more with the listener when it's coming from this place, you know, not coming from a place where I want to be a star, I want to be the next big thing. But when you're really embracing your gift and using it, what's in your heart, I think that's that's what people will feel, you know. So it's a faith walk for sure,
Well,
but stay on it.
you're really right because most of them is just they're very comfortable into that 9 to 5,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
well, should I get out there? Well, I better stay on the job. I still got to eat and pay these bills.
yeah. Well, I'll be honest, you know, when I was before I left my job to pursue this professionally, I was going to work at 6:30, 7 in the morning, leaving the office at 6, going to the studio at 7:30 or 8, staying there to midnight to 1, back up and doing it again. So I did that for a long time, you know,
Yeah.
before I was able to do this. I mean, it was, you know, and at that time, my son was involved in a many activities. So it
Oh,
was
yeah.
it was getting 2 hours of sleep sometime, but you know, it was something that I wanted to do, you know, something that I was in my heart. And I asked, I asked God sometimes, remove this desire so I can get back to doing what I, you know, what
I
I
can get
was
sleep.
making money. Right. You know,
Back to normalcy.
back to normalcy,
Mama
you
just
know.
wants some
Yeah.
sleep.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't go away, and I'm glad it didn't, you know, because there's joy in doing something that you're passionate about, and I pray that that passion continues and stays within me. I do.
Yeah, because he did not want you to hide your talent.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
It takes
fine.
you a while to realize that. I think, you know, but it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling, and now I
Yeah.
don't look for the measure of success of what is in my bank account, but what I've done, you know, within my heart and within my spirit, and what gift I've used that's been given to me by God, that hopefully will bless somebody. If that's how I measure my success, you know.
Yeah.
So hopefully at some point, you know, it others will feel what I feel, you know, through my music.
Absolutely.
Right.
Okay.
You know,
That'll work.
All right. Well,
I
we're
know
good.
that sometimes. I'm sorry, Gary. Go ahead.
Yeah, we're getting ready to break and do a music break. So,
Okay.
so let's talk a little bit about one of the tracks that we're going to play here. It's
Okay.
very special, and the Colorless Tears. I would love for you to kind of give us, just tell us a little bit about it and how you how it came to, yeah, you know, the person you worked with on it and everything.
Yeah, I worked with a beautiful friend of mine from Portland, who Molly Tintorelli, and she's a jazz artist. And so she and I were in London together about 4 years ago, and became really good friends. And I actually wrote this song probably about 6 years ago, when there was a lot of other stuff going on in the world as well, with you know, between different, you know, individuals that have been with police brutality and so forth. So I began to think about that. My heart was just hurting for what I was seeing at that time, and the irony of writing that 5 years ago, and releasing it now more than ever. I realized that, you know, wow, this is the world. When I looked at the world around, you know, everybody's from Australia to Japan to Korea, everybody's crying out the same about what's happening in the world. You know,
Right.
it's resonating in so many different countries, and just symbolically and figuratively, I think literally, the tears are colorless. You know, hurt is hurt and pain is pain, regardless of your nationality or ethnicity. When you see something that's not being done right, that should hurt you.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
and that's what that song is really about. It really is about, you know, what's happening now is ultimately impacting us all. Whether you believe in Black Lives Matter or not, we're not at peace as a country. So there should be tears everywhere for what's happening, the senseless things that are happening, all because of fear. You know, all because of fear. At the end of the day, we fear, they fear, we all fear. Nobody wants to live like that. I don't. I don't want my son to, you know. So that's what that song in a nutshell is about. It's tears literally are colorless, and that's what they should be as you think about the unrest in the world.
Yeah, absolutely. Very well said. Okay. Well, we're going to let our listeners check it out, and then we'll probably jump probably into another track, but we'll ask you about that when we come back.
Okay.
And so everybody get ready. We're going to play some more from our guest. And if you're just tuning in, yes, our guest is Michon Young. We're very excited about having her on the show today. So keep it locked right here, and we'll be right back right here on the Indie Live Spot.
Full of anger, full of rage. Why and how did we get that way? As I thought about all that's been done, as I thought about my only son, living in a world full of hate, me and his daddy didn't raise him that way. I began to cry, tears stung my eyes. I realized the tears I cried, colorless tears, so real, so clean, for every race of people far and near. None of us wanna live in fear. Colorless tears, so real, so clean, unbiased moves the road to heal for loss of loved ones through the senseless fear.
Can't say I understand your pain. I can say I hate the hate display. As your sister from another race, I cry for that pain. How I wish this hate would go away. How I wish we were not in this state. Make it make sense. Our differences can lead to hate. I began to cry, tears stung my eyes. I realized the tears I cried were colorless tears, so real, so clear, for every race and people far and near. None of us wanna live in fear. Colorless tears, so real, so clear, unbiased modes for all to hear. Lost in the bones through the senseless fears.
Colorless tears. Cry for that mother.
I cried for that father.
That sister, that brother, left to comfort one another. Oh my, hurt has no grace,
And heartache attack and pain.
at the end of the day. Hurt is hurt and pain is pain. Colorless tears. None of us wanna live in fear.
None of us wanna live in fear.
None of us wanna live in fear. you see. Call me when you will. Doesn't faze me. Something so smooth about you, boy. Something so cool about you, boy. Something so smooth about you, boy. Something so cool about you, boy. Salt and pepper gold teeth, sign of your maturity. So grown and sexy, so blazing to my eye. Ooh, attractive, seductive, smooth eyes. You give, don't have to try. You got it all naturally inside. Your eyes, your smile, always drive me wild. You're just so smooth, and this is for the cool in you.
Woof, that was a lot of great music, of course, by our guest, Michon Young is in the house, and gosh, the music's beautiful. You're hearing a little bit of Something About You, and then right before that, Colorless Tears. Wow, everything has been nice.
Thank you. Thank you
Yes,
so much.
absolutely, absolutely.
Beautiful voice.
Thank
So
you.
the musical dynamics and sultry, soulful feeling. I can feel your music. That is this music.
Mm.
That's why I separated from you guys. I was actually just listening to your song. I wanted to hear stuff and what is it? Colorless Tears. Did I
Yeah,
get that
colorless tears. Yeah, yeah. I when I this the verse by Molly, the other lady that's on that track with me. I actually, because my original version of that, obviously it didn't have her verse in there, but I talked to her, and Molly is of a different race, and so I talked to her about what her feelings were, in what's happening, and the lyrics I wrote really were what she said to me, for her from the perspective of a non-person of color. So yeah, that song, I didn't want to do any fanfare around that because it wasn't to try to promote the brand, my brand or anything. It was just to get a message out there, and hopefully people will receive that.
Yeah.
great way to do it is through music.
Yeah, universal. Yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
I know, Gary, you wanted her to talk about the other track as well.
Yes, absolutely. The other one that we played following that, which was Something About You. If you can tell us a little bit
Something about you. Something about you. That song, there are a lot of songs that are out there about the younger guys, and everybody wants to. Well, I won't say everybody, but there are a number of folks who want to be cool girl, this, that, and the other. But for me, I like that salt and pepper goatee. It's something that's sophisticated and something just does something, to a lot of women. And I just put into words, I think, what, I wanted to do an ode to that mature, seasoned man. To let him know he still has it,
Well,
that.
thank you.
So that's.
We're talking about you.
Notice she said mature.
I am seasoned. Beer is great. Hair
Well, I
is salt
dedicate
and
that to you.
pepper.
I dedicate it to you.
Well, thank you, ma'am.
But that's what it's for. It's for that mature man that, to let him know you just got better with time, Oh, Chisel.
Oh my goodness.
Now and then we do this. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna see. Can I get in this camera one so you can see this? So you can see this seasoned man.
Very.
Oh my goodness.
I know, right?
Oh.
Sorry, you just made his day.
Well, you ain't lying. She
Go
really
ahead,
did
Chris.
make
I'm
my
sorry.
day.
I have to see Gary has to wipe his face every so often.
Well, it's hot because he's got me in here crowded up, so I'm burning up a little bit.
I told him to wear a mask. I saw all that hot breath in the back.
I'm a good ways from him now.
For the mask.
No, it's pretty warm in there with all this equipment. That's warm in here.
Yeah.
It's not mature stuff, but it's old self.
Oh.
Oh.
You see how they do me. See how they do me.
That's not right.
Every
Well,
week
that
they do me like this.
I'm dedicating that song today to you.
Well,
That
thank you,
song
man.
is just from my heart to yours today.
Well, I sure do feel it.
Now,
Sit
Joyce,
out your door, dear.
Joyce,
Your head.
Joyce. Before we went into the music break, you have something you actually was going to talk to our guest about.
I don't remember now.
Oh, okay.
There was something because I said I'll talk to you about it later. And Gary knows me. I don't get anything. I don't have any problem talking. So this is the first, y'all.
Yeah.
So I'm if anybody else has any questions for you, but no, but I love your voice, and I'm glad you mentioned the other singer because I said there's another singer on here. This is beautiful. I like how you're doing that. That's amazing, and I appreciate you sharing about BLM Black Lives Matter. That's part of what's going on right now, and just I'm blessed. I didn't know anything about you, I have to admit, but I
I think she froze a little bit.
Yeah, her connection must be having a problem there. Well,
Well, she did say that she's been having problems with her.
Right, she did say that. Yep. Yeah.
Whatnot.
Yeah.
I'm having problems too because every so often on my Skype it says poor connection. I'm like, stop it.
Yeah.
The joys of technology.
Oh yeah.
Yes. What are you gonna do?
What are you
gonna do?
Exactly. Joyce, you froze.
You
big
froze.
time.
You froze real
What were you
bad.
saying?
I know. I don't have the right band because Frontier is acting up.
So what were you saying? What were you asking?
And that's all right. You guys can know. I was just giving some beautiful accolades. How much I love her spirit. And as soon as I met her before we got on the air, love her spirit, and then hearing about your background. But thanks for sharing that. I mean, it's amazing. I'm looking forward. When I hear your story, I find myself looking forward to hearing what next year or in 6 months, what's happened, because I know you got some things working. So with that in mind, what's coming in the future? I know you're working on something. I know you are. What's going on in the future?
Yeah, I am. Next year, we were actually scheduled to release a project this month in June, last month in June. But because of so much that was going on, I just told my producer and my manager, I said, this is just doesn't feel right to do anything right now, to release a project right now because of the climate. It just doesn't feel right. That's why I released Colorless Tears, because that just seemed to be the sentiment of what's happening going on. But next year, so we decided, I said, I'm going to wait until 2021 and release the project. But I'm releasing a double CD, a gospel and my love songs. So I'm going to release the double for the same price as I would a single. And this is a combination of really writing my experiences during this whole time, reconnecting with loved ones. And so it's going to be some good stuff, some heart-wrenching things, some fun stuff. Had a lot of playtime in the studio, so I'm excited. It's going to be about 23 songs.
Wow.
Yeah, I've been, that's all we've been able to do, and so for me, what brings me peace is to kind of write out what I'm feeling. And that's all I've been doing. My journal, I'm working on a third journal right now of stuff that I've just written about what I'm feeling, what's as a mom of a Black son, what I'm feeling in those moments when he leaves. It's just a lot of stuff that I think people will be able to relate to, because I think many of us share the same thoughts, about what's happening, the anxiety of it all, and fear and so forth, and joy. So I'm looking forward to that. That's what we're working on now. Going to be we're going to push that hard, and I'm looking forward to listeners, hearing just some new, fun, good, soulful gospel songs that will hopefully just touch the spirits of many.
Cool.
Amen.
Right. Real quick, in the chat room on here on YouTube, we have Vivian Bailey. She says, "Wow, double CD, nice. Looking forward to hearing it in 2021."
Oh, thank you, Miss Bailey. Thank you, Viv. I appreciate that. Looking forward to releasing it too. I really am. I released my gospel project. I have a gospel project. I keep forgetting about that. That's the first thing I did when I decided to do something professionally. I told God that if I ever did this, that my first release would be in homage to Him. So the very first project I did in 2011 was a gospel project called Possessing the Promise. And I released that then. And that's kind of how my journey started with people abroad knowing my music, because there's a song on that particular project that reached #1 over there. I don't know, to this day, I have no idea how it got over there. But that started my relationship with internationally with that project. So yeah, I'm looking forward to releasing my second gospel project along with this. So the double CD is going to be full of love, life, and experiences for sure.
I hope you shared with us too. I mean, come back on the show to share.
Yeah, please do.
Oh, I'd love to. You guys are so much fun. This is a fun interview.
We tried to be.
I'm glad. Oh, and also there was because the chat room that I keep up with the most is the one on YouTube. Obviously, is not the one so much on Facebook. There was also a Kate Anderson in there. She was loving your music, and so was Henry Mixon, Keith Gilchrist, David McLaurin just popped in, and let's see who else was. And Audley obviously is in the chat room as well. And let's see, and everybody's been pretty much, doing the this kind of stuff.
Good,
Yeah,
good.
at Facebook, I see there are 47 comments, so they're all loving your music.
Oh,
yeah.
That makes me feel good. That really does, because you don't know how your music will be received. I'm sure you guys can relate to that. You put your hard work and sweat and tears into a project, and you do the best you can, and you just hope and pray that it's received in the spirit in which it was given. But I think even that's the hardest part when you first do it, is what will they think? Will they like? Will people get me? Will they get my music?
Will
but
somebody get me?
Will somebody get me? Will anybody? Is there
anybody?
One? Is there one? But it's the scariest feeling to do something from scratch and then put it out there for the world to critique. And social media, as we talked about before, it's a double-edged sword. Yeah, you might get some likes, but you're gonna also get some folks that have some not so nice things to say. Right? So you gotta get past that. But that's a good feeling.
I call them some people call them trolls, but I call them hecklers. And I've had a heckler go through YouTube videos and just slamming my playing. You're horrible. Your band is great. And what I loved is that sometimes other people have to defend you, because I saw the comment and 2 guys just went off on him. He said, "You know what?" And then they went to his account, because I was looking to see who this guy is, and they said, "You just talked about a great saxophone player, and you sound like," and I'm going to beat that, okay? And I said, "Oh my God, somebody's actually," and I didn't know these guys. I didn't know them at all.
Yeah.
But I think what happens, and I get that way too, when you can tell when it's constructive criticism, or when it's somebody who just hates
ugly,
mean,
right,
nasty. Because
actually they're being fugly. There you go. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I had to take a break on that one. You scared me for a minute there. I got hot. No, so a lot of times that's what it is. Just people just hating, and you can tell.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Just to be mean for no reason. I mean, it's one thing if you don't like something, and that's just me. If I'm not feeling something, I just move on. But when you see some of the comments that it's not constructive. It's just mean spirited, and
It's
I'm like that. Wow,
And so obviously they have something. They're basically showing you their self-hatred.
Yeah,
they're pushing that towards you.
Yeah, yeah.
That's it. For the simple reason because they ain't got a damn thing they doing themselves. They ain't doing nothing.
Yeah.
Hey, didn't I just kind of say that? The self-hatred?
They ain't got
They just had to chime in. That's all it was. He just had to chime in on my stuff.
They didn't have nothing to do with they ain't got nothing to do with their life. Period. That's what it is. There ain't no self-hatred. They ain't got nothing to do with their life.
That's true. That's
it's
true.
I tell people social media, treat it like a TV. Like watching TV. If you don't like the show, just keep going. Just keep going.
Stepping.
Right.
You don't
right.
stop and yell at the TV program and tell it it's trash or anything.
Right.
You just go to the next channel. It's that simple. So if you don't like it, just keep scrolling. Because I actually blocked a couple of people. I didn't even have anything political, but they turned it into something political.
Yeah.
And I deleted their comments. And I said, if you've come back and you see your comments missing, yes, I did delete it.
Yeah.
This is what I said. I don't have time for reprobate minds.
Yeah. Well.
And that ain't got no life.
That if you don't want to get it, go somewhere else.
Right.
Go create a group of haters.
Right.
And y'all just feed each other. But over here, that over here.
Right. And as an artist, and this is all of us, we can't just, we can't allow those type of things to stop us either. You know what I mean? You can't allow those comments that feed that negativity, because sometimes you can get so bogged down with what the bad things and the critics, that you lose sight of, what, if I'm giving it my all, I'm doing my best, that's the tunnel vision again, that I talked about earlier, is that it's easy to get trapped in who doesn't like you, who doesn't, and I was there when I first came out. I was at that point where I don't know, somebody said that I sound like a man. Somebody, these were real comments. These were real comments. And I got mad at myself for getting distracted by those comments, because it's easy to do. You already are just going out here on faith and doing the best that you can, and then to have somebody to critique your work in such a mean-spirited way, it can make you feel a certain kind of way, but I reached a point and I said, no, just not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. So
what? Just because you turn on the faucet doesn't mean you can't turn it off.
Correct.
They might get in, but you can turn it right back off and say, you know what? No, look, no devil, not today.
Right, not today. Not
turn
today.
It right back off. I'm not going to entertain that. But what you said when you said they have no clue what you went through just to get what you have. Correct. Maybe my project doesn't sound like, let's say, with my favorites, Gerald Albright. I mean, but you don't know. I might have worked twice as hard to get to that point, because I don't have funding. I don't have contacts. And when you consider, I wrote it, produced it, tried to get people together. I had to start my first project all over again because it got so badly. So maybe you need to, if you think that an independent artist may not be where you think they should be, how about either saying a prayer or call them and say, hey, what can I do for you?
Right. I'll tell you just a really short little quick story. That song, my song Something About You, is one of my biggest sellers right now, and it's got like 2 million views. But when I did that song, nice. That's when I first decided to pursue this professionally, right? So there was no other income other than mine and my husband's. And I had to record that project. I was still trying to get my son through school and so forth and this and the other. And I had to choose between my mortgage payment and paying the studio these thousands to have this stuff. And I chose the latter. I chose to move forward. And God worked it out where it just bountiful blessings happened that year. But when I decided I had to choose one of the two, this is all I have. Am I going to use it and trust God, or am I going to just do away, just go on and go with what I think will, and so sometimes you have to do that. And people don't know that. People don't know that side when you're sitting here deciding, I want this to pursue this so bad. It's so bad in me that I want to do this, and all the sacrifices you have to make. And then to have people not know exactly those steps you had to take, deciding between my mortgage or to pursue this, it's tough. And so that's what I get so agitated, even when it's not me, for people to degrade or critique someone not knowing their story. Ridiculous.
Especially when you're an independent artist. Taylor Swift and Beyonce, we don't have 50, 60 people working on our projects.
Correct. I'm everything. I'm the admin assistant. I'm the video person. I am the sound guy. I am the secretary. I am the all of that. And people don't get that. They don't understand that. But it's all good. Just stop trying to convince them.
Right. A couple of things in the chat room real quick. Keith Gilchrist says hello and says
hi, Keith. Oh,
thank
you, Keith. Oh, I love him so much. Thank you so much for the support of my music, Keith. Love you. Keith.
Go Lord V, yes. Oh, and also going back a little bit, David McLaurin, he says, because it's hard not to feel something when the critics talk, but it's part of the growth and fear of the artists.
Yeah. And that's so true. Wow. That's so true. That really is true when you think about it. I think I've grown so much from the folks that say these things that are not so nice than the compliments. I've had to grow. You have to be strong. You gotta have a layer of skin in this thing, because Monday you're good and Tuesday they don't like you, so you can't go by the likes, and I think I've grown as an artist and as a woman, in having to just fight my way and push my way forward, in spite of the challenges, in spite of the feedback, it's tough, but I totally agree. I grew a lot in that process.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh, thanks for sharing that.
Yeah. All right.
Do you have any music to play?
Yeah, we do. We have another track that we'd like to feature as well.
Can't wait.
Yeah. So, Michon, why don't you tell us about Ooh?
Ooh.
Yeah.
I sure will. You ever meet somebody where you and this was pre-marriage, so we make sure my husband understands this is pre-marriage. I don't want any problems when I'm done. This is before honeydew. I don't want any problems. So but you ever meet somebody where it's kind of speechless. You're like, ooh, it's just something. It's just ooh, you can't really express it, but that's what this song is about. It's when you that early stage of love. It's just really just you getting to know each other. It's fun. It's you think about them, the butterflies, all of that. Whatever age you are in, and that beginning stage of love, there's always that. I just can't wait for him to call me. I just can't wait to see him. I just can't wait, and that's kind of what that song is about. Who is that laughing?
Ray's laughing back here.
Why you laughing? Oh. What's funny? What's funny, Ray? What's funny? Let's share with us the joke.
Yeah,
man. Let's hear.
Butterflies in my stomach.
Whatever,
I
good.
to myself. Thank you.
Where's my Reese's cup? I need to eat right now.
Oh my goodness.
I got some
Well, that's what the song is supposed to do. It's supposed to put you back to that place and that space. Whether you're in it now, I've been with my husband for a little while now, and I still get that feeling of So that's what it is. Love is feeling good when that mate is not there. And you still think about him, and so that's what it is. Ooh,
Awesome. Okay.
Can't get enough.
All right, well, let's let our listeners check it out, and then we will come back. So for those of you who just tuned in, yes, we are going to play another selection from Michon's CD. So this is Ooh, so check it out, and we'll be right back right here on the Indie Live Spot.
Can't seem to get enough of you. Didn't think that I could love you more than I do. But every day it just gets stronger, baby. Who knew that I'd find someone who simply makes me say, ooh, I'll just head over heels in love with you. You get me, you thrill me, baby. You make me smile, I feel brand new. My lonely days are through. The dream of something real is finally coming true. My longing for good love is long overdue. Wasn't looking when I didn't know I came. And all I can say is simply my love is good. Just head over heels in love with you. You get me, you thrill me, baby. You make me smile, I feel brand new. My lonely days are through. Ooh, baby, baby. Ooh, baby, baby. Ooh, baby, I love you. That actually, how do you guys feel? Y'all all right with that? Okay, let's go take a listen to that. Honeydew, smooth, sweet.
Thank you. Yes, it's one of my favorites.
It's beautiful. All right. So anyway, we're back, and yeah, we're having some fun today. I really, really love
yeah.
everything, and we definitely really appreciate you, Michon, for
Thank you.
coming on today and hanging out with us.
Well, this has been fun. I really thank you so much. I really had a good time. You guys were a blast. So thank you so much.
Well, I know we go till 4 o'clock. Are you going to hang with us till 4, or do you need to go?
No, I can hang. I
Well,
can.
good, because I have another question for you.
Good.
Joyce, I want to be able to get my story in before we go off too. My story.
Well, we want to give our guests,
Yeah, I understand, but this is something I have to do. Something I have to do.
Okay, but I'm not the boss. Gary is, so okay. But anyway, the you're talking about how you grew up in the church, and I see your first CD project was gospel, but you also record secular music and perform secular music, and so do I. Now, years ago when I came back, as I took like a 20-year hiatus, I came back in 2010. There was a lady that said that I shouldn't, and musicians, not just I, but musicians, church musicians shouldn't be playing out in the world.
Yeah.
And of
Yeah.
course, and we were in a chat situation, and I disagreed respectfully. I don't think anybody got ugly, but she was really, saying I don't think musicians and you should be doing it for free, and you should just play for the Lord and just trust the Lord, and you can't get prayer in the jazz club. Well, my response, you can't get prayer at Walmart either. You can't pray at schools either, public schools. You can't do that either. But yet the usher goes and works outside the church, and in some cases, pastors work outside the church. How do you feel? Personally, for me, I don't have a problem with it, obviously, because I'm doing it. But where does this mentality come from when everybody else, from the usher to the deacons, can work outside the church, but the musicians, that some feel that we should stay within the church and not take our gift to the world like Jesus did anyway?
Yeah. I have certainly had my share of critiques from I have a strong church background, as I said, and even coming from my church in Detroit, it was really difficult, for me initially, to try and convince that this is. Can you hear me still?
Yes, I can hear you.
It was very difficult, initially going out there, coming from a strong church background, and going out to the world and singing about love and singing about things outside of gospel. But the one thing that I think stopped me from feeling a certain kind of way, and even feeling bad about those who said, "Oh, Michon's worldly now," and so forth. Every time I perform, I'm always singing there's a track or 2 or 3 or 4 that I'm singing about God. I'm in front of a crowd at a nightclub singing about God and watching people lift up their hands. And these are people who may not be in the church. I was at Hartford Jazz Festival, 30,000 people, and I'm doing gospel and watching them enjoy it. So miss me with the critiques about what I'm not supposed to be doing and how I'm supposed to use my gift. I'm totally against people who feel as though you should solely be within the confines of the church. Who's going to hear about him if you're just solely within the confines of the church? So I take issue with that, I guess. It's a little personal for me because I've endured a lot of criticism, from my strong church family when I decided to pursue something outside of what they believed was worldly. So I say, every time I'm able to get out there into the world and talk about my faith, and talk about God, and talk about my spirituality, who knows who I'm drawing in. So,
Exactly.
That's my thought.
Yeah. As far as this group here, you're preaching to the choir. We totally agree with you. And
Yeah.
since I'm the same thing, that I've had people respond the same. I remember the band I had at the time, they were all church musicians. And Tyrone Walls, we call him Ty, he was a keyboard player. He's been playing in church for 30-some years, and organ and keyboard. So we were ending at Catfish Blues years ago, and he started just playing Hezekiah Walker, Grateful. And I didn't know the words to the song. I could play it on my horn. And I said, I bet somebody in here knows that song. And brother raised his hand. I know it. I said, well, I didn't even know if he could sing. But I said, come on up here and sing it. And oh my God, he didn't sing, he sang.
Wow.
And not this. And the drummer, Tony was a drummer at the time, and he was like, he said, Joyce, there was something powerful about this. He said he walked up with his drink in his hand.
Wow.
He sang,
Wow.
and put the house down, and the cook was crying. My husband is in the back. The cook is crying. The waiter has his hand in the air. And it tells me something. We think that if you're dressed in a suit and you sound like this, I don't drink, brother. I don't touch that stuff.
Yeah.
But you is mean spirit.
Right.
No compassion for people. You're like a Sadducee and a Pharisee. But you get this guy laid back, and you assume that this man had no God.
Right.
It was actually a restaurant with a bar, and you assume he had God. He got up there and he sang, and I'm telling you, he touched us all. We were just like, oh my God. And it just flowed. Now, we never got asked back again, but that's okay. and we've done gospel, sneaking in there, instrumental gospel, not sneaking in.
Right.
You're not sneaking. I didn't mean to sound like that, but I'm glad to hear that you have the same experience.
Slipped it in without, thinking and say, hey, we're just gonna put it in, then let it go.
And let it go. And it happens, and it's powerful. And I think that 10 years ago when I came back, and I think that's about you as well. Apostle Lois Gibson out of New York saw me on Facebook, and I'm gonna go through this real quick. She said, I need you to call me. I need you to call me. I'm like, okay, I don't know her, but I'm going to call her. She said, the Lord has told me that believers out who are musicians out into the world, strategically out. And she said, you're one of them. She said, go play your clubs, but just don't forget who you are.
Yeah.
And a lot has happened since then. So, I'm happy to meet another musician as well who was doing the same thing and taking that gift. So bless you for sharing that. That blessed me. And there are people out there that want to hear that as well, because as it blessed me, you got believers in the chat line who are musicians who are out there playing as well and writing. So thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, I just feel as long as I do it in integrity, with integrity, and try to do it in excellence, I am not going to, because of my belief, I certainly don't want to embarrass God by anything I do. So I'm very conscientious of that as well. And as long as I continue to have that mindset, then I can't fool myself with those in the church that are judging, which in itself is there's an issue in that altogether. But I digress. But
that's another hour.
That's another hour. But nonetheless, it's all done in love. And if one person can hear the message about God, while you're performing, even in an unconventional environment, then you've done what you're supposed to do, and forget the naysayers.
Well, that also works.
That you were doing, that you having these naysayers from the church, instead of having their having their supporting you, and that you're sharing your talent as God wants you to share your talents with the world. Not just sharing them in church and your little congregation. And that's just basically they were trying to hide your talents in a bushel.
Right.
And covering it. It's like that's not supposed to go that way. As I said, if you really read that scripture, you're not supposed to hide your talents. You're supposed to share them.
Right.
Because that's why God gives us these talents to share with the world, to share, to make the world a better place.
Right. Right.
It's just your little corner of the, little piece of it, but still, even if it spreads, if you're blessed enough to, you can spread that talent and share it, awesome.
Right.
Amen.
Right.
Those people need to realize that. It's like
Yeah.
we're trying to keep it right here when it's trying to burst out because it needs to be shared with the world.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then dare you try to be God and you're not God. You're not God. I'm sorry. Let's
Yeah.
not forget.
Right.
You're not
Right.
the creator.
Right.
But once you're convinced, once you know that God is okay with you, the naysayers start getting smaller and smaller and smaller to
Yeah.
you won't. I already
Yeah.
know. Like I
Yeah.
told one lady, I've gone too far for you to convince me otherwise.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know now, and it's you don't even worry about it anymore. Like in the beginning, I did. It was a thought process for me.
Yeah.
But as I went out and saw what God was doing, seeing a man coming, he said, "I don't know what it is about you, but there's something. I don't have any money," because he wanted to give a tip, and he took his bracelet off and gave it to me because he just had.
Wow. Wow.
I watch a man, because we're fearful of the in the church of the homosexual community. But this man came in front and he had his hands in the air. As I was playing, I was just playing, and I opened my eyes and he was just like this, just like this, in front of me, feeling something. We need to reach, no matter, you may, you know what I mean. That's
I know what you. I know exactly what you mean. I know exactly what you mean. I am so with you on that. Wow, that's beautiful.
Well,
if you're ever in Texas, let me know. I want to come and support you. I'd love to listen to you, but it'll be a while now. I know, but
I know, right? But for sure, I'm hoping. In fact, I was booked for October of this year in Texas, and that's since been postponed. But definitely next year, I'm hoping to meet you guys in person and hopefully have you out to a show. That would be an honor for me.
Me too.
Yes.
Well, I want to say,
All right, Ray.
I want to be able to tell you a little story that happened when I was in Savannah. This is how God works in mysterious ways. My son called me and said, "Daddy," I said, "What?" "I got something to tell you." I said, "What you got to tell me? You can't tell me now." He said, "Well, I found our sister." I said, "What?" I said, "You found Africa?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "How you find it?" He said, "I found on Facebook." I have had no connection with this child for 49 years. On first time I saw her, she was just born.
Oh wow.
And I always told Stella about, I had this child before I met her and everything, but she told Adrian, and come to find out my brother and them, they can't hold water. They didn't give me a chance to tell Kim, but they told Kim, and Kim finally said, what she said, Mama told me about her. But I'm not trying to, for 49 years.
Wow.
That's wild, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wow.
And what's so cool about it, she's been right there in Garland, Texas. Now she lives over in Lancaster, Texas, for 18, 19 years.
Wow.
Right there. So.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, so I told her I would give this shout out because I want the world to know. They done put it all on Instagram and Facebook and everywhere else. Now give me a chance. You know what I'm saying? Give me a chance.
They're as excited as you are to meet their sibling,
Yeah.
Wow, that's beautiful.
A chance to come together? Well, I guess it's...
Well, I have not actually seen her yet. I talked to her this morning. She called me this morning.
I saw the picture on Facebook.
You saw the picture on Facebook?
Week. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's because your son had posted it.
Posted it?
Yeah.
And
Like
say,
he said, he couldn't hold water.
well, yeah, he can't hold water. But you know, like I said,
Gee, I wonder where he gets that from.
well, I think he might got it on his Grizz. But he had, well, they was, it's just three of them. Her sister and her cousin. The grandmother raised her.
She's pretty too.
Raised them. And
All right, there. I hear you.
Matchmaker.
and
He tried to sneak that one in, but
her cousin was going back to Murfreesboro, Tennessee, and so my oldest son, he went out there to put eyes on her. See, but
Okay, put eyes on her.
put eyes on her. Then he gonna blast it. I had not seen, I saw on Facebook. She's a runner. She's run marathons, and she's been to Germany, France, and different places running marathons. And she's supposed to be running one, but this thing doesn't hit, so that slowed it down. So from doing that, but the thing is, I want to put my arms around her because, like I said, I have not seen this child since the day she was born.
Wow.
And I asked her, I saw the birth certificate on Facebook. I said, what's your mama name? What she have on there? She said, Deborah McDaniel. I said, I ain't never married your mama. And I said, who's the father? She said, Edward R. McDaniel. I said, well, I guess I am the one. But, yeah. But see, if I had known her mama was 16 years old, I wouldn't have never even fooled with this child. Because, I'm just coming back from Vietnam. I'm about 19 years old or 20, whatever. And, but she was out in the club, drinking, smoking, and partying just like the rest of us. So I never knew. And right today, I don't know where this woman's at right today.
She's still living?
She's still living.
Oh, wow.
Oh, really?
She's still living.
Does her daughter know where she is?
Africa was telling me, she said, I don't know where my mama, where she's at. She'll pop in a call or something like that, call her sister Stephanie or something like that. But I don't have anything to do with it because she treated me so bad as we was coming up.
Wow.
Wow.
Is that why she
That's
was
sad.
with her grandmother instead?
Well, yeah, the grandmother, and like I said, I tried to find them back in the day because I had a friend of mine that was in El Paso that lives in here in Oklahoma. I was raised up with HL. And I asked about the sister, which her name is BB. He said, well, BB's in the joint. Okay, the next time, well, she's dead. I said, what about Winnie? Well, I don't know. I know her sister was a drug addict. That I did know. And the baby girl, Catherine, she died kind of young. But like I said, all those years, I didn't know where this child was. I didn't even know where her mama was. I did look to try to find them. I could never find them. So, and
Wow.
somebody said, you ought to have been on one of them TV shows. I said, no. I'll do it on the radio like I'm doing now. I ain't gonna be on nobody's TV doing this. But
This is a TV show. It's YouTube.
Facebook.
but
There.
she's from like Gary said, he saw her. Said she, and everything. But a friend of mine that lives in the neighborhood in DeSoto.
What choice?
Did you read something in the chat room?
I did. It's the chat. It's not you.
What?
I can't believe he said that about you, Gary.
Who said
Who,
that?
Henry?
Gary said Gary looks like Papa Smurf.
Oh.
Now you see all this beard here, all this gray. But
You know,
I'm sorry.
we switch roles.
We switch roles. But
Gary changed. He morphed.
boy, Henry, I
You know, I
called
was
you.
about to say something, but then I said, okay, maybe I just couldn't see. You know, I don't have my glasses on, but I said that looks like a different person. Yeah.
This is
But
this
I'm
is
not
this
gonna
is the
say
one with all.
anything, 'cause maybe it's me.
This
Maybe
is
it's
this
me.
is the one with all the
No.
wisdom.
Maybe it could be me.
And Mac moved to the chair, and they call him Papa Smurf sometimes. So that's why they're saying Gary looks like Papa Smurf.
Okay.
But
I'm surprised that Keith didn't say anything else besides time for Mac Attack.
but a friend of mine is a neighbor of mine over in DeSoto. He was where I got my other house at. He said he called me the other morning and said, Ray, I said, what? He said, man, that's your daughter? I said, yeah. Man, I know who she is. I said, what you mean? She was in my Desert Storm boot camp, training and stuff like that. It just surprised him, much as it did me. So
Wow.
I'll get a chance to meet her sometime next week.
Well, congratulations, man.
Wow, yeah. How beautiful is that?
Well, thank you,
Yay.
thank you, thank you.
We need a baby shower.
But the thing was, Adrian, he saw her. The baby boy Taiwan said, well, Dad, I got to wrap my head around this. Then my brother called my daughter and told her what was happening. She said, Mama always told me about this. But like I said, they didn't give me a chance to say anything. They don't want to hear my side of things. Huh?
If I find a brother or sister that I never knew, I would be elated. I'm like, I got a brother, I got a sister. I know someone personally that happened to, and he found out about his sister, and he just called her. And he said, I don't know if she's going to be in denial or not, but she received him so well. She said, oh my God, we got to meet. So I think that's a beautiful thing when siblings, I watched somebody go through that, and 2 times actually. And because one of them, she said, my dad thinks I'm upset, but I want to ask him, do you have a brother for me too? Because I'm an only child.
Well, see, the thing is, since
it's exciting.
Since the mom had passed and everything, Kim is still not has got over it yet, and then all of a sudden here come another child. I was wondering, how would she accept this?
Oh, she was gonna be fine.
Well, I'm hoping so. If God willing, I'm hoping
Kim
so.
will be fine.
I hope so, because I just didn't know how to say
grown
it.
Now. Yeah. We are grown people now. We have, it's different when you're little kids and you're still growing up. But once you are grown and you've had some life behind you, and especially this happened even before you met Stella. So Kim is a strong woman.
Yeah.
Your daughter will be fine.
Well, they got an older brother that's here in Oklahoma, but they always knew about him. But like I said, I always told her mama about Africa.
I have to start calling you Big Papa.
Boy, you got me over here just blushing, Joy. Oh, Lord.
But be fruitful and multiply, my brother.
and what's so ironic about it,
I better go get my DNA. You might be my daddy too.
I asked her. I said, Jamila, have you ever been married? She said, yeah, I was married. I got rid of him. I said, what happened? I found out he was messing with this girl and got her pregnant. I heard him got rid of him. I said, well, do you have any grandkids? Any kids? She said, no. I said, well, shit, I guess we're going to have to adopt a child and put it, because we need some more McDaniels up in this camp.
I think you need to retire.
Yeah. Girl, please. You You see all this wisdom, all this gray hair in my head, face, all this gray and then sprinkled in the top. Ain't nothing but sure wisdom, child.
Let me explain to Marshawn. I was gonna say Michon. Michon, see, you told me the French pronunciation. Anyway, we can't see Mac face to face, but people who are watching him on YouTube and Facebook Live, they can see him face to face.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Because it's a different.
Yeah, I'm sitting here thinking, like, you know what? My eyes are worse than I thought they were. So I'm like, I can't see nothing. And this is. Thank you so much, because I was sitting here like, you know what? I should have left them glasses on because I can't see nothing.
That camera angle for the people to see.
There's no shame about wearing glasses.
Right. If you want.
Ooh, that makes me feel better, because I was about to make a phone call and say I need to get these eyes checked Monday. This is not working out. This is not working out for me.
You guys, when your sister gone.
Okay, now let me break it.
Yes, I was like, and then when the camera, I said.
I like the little.
What is happening here? So
Michon, you must think you think we just stupid. We acting stupid over here though. Gary want to break in. He want to break in.
Hey.
I said this is something that's not right. And then I was, and my husband. What you guys don't see me doing. I'm snapping my finger, trying to get my husband attention to bring my glasses, because I'm sitting here like, and he's not paying attention. So I've had some things going on my end that's really unsettling. I'm sitting here trying to do this on the low.
Well, that's
because
something.
I can't see anything.
Well,
and so, but thank you. That has really blessed my spirit right now. I just wanna say thank you.
But that's all right. That's okay. That's okay. You'll get a chance to see it.
Yeah.
Here, go ahead.
Okay. No, what I want to say is, Michon, I want you to, before we get out of here, because it's almost time for us to get up out of here. But could you please let everybody know how they can follow you and how they can get a hold of your music, and if you have websites, things like that to plug, please do that now, please.
Yes, sir, I can. I can be reached my website, www.michon, MICHON, young.com, and Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Michon Young Music. I've got music on my CD on my website that you can download as well. And just kind of, if you just don't know who I am or anything about me, I put a lot of stuff on my website about my experiences and some personal stuff. So if nothing else, it'll give you a chance to just kind of do something in this downtime that we're in right now. Yeah. But also I've got now, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. That would be such a blessing. That's Michon Young Music as well.
Well, I'm gonna say this, Michon. As soon as you get that pack out, the dual CD with the gospel, I got a gospel station that we're setting up. I want that music.
Yes, sir. I got it. I got you. I got it. Thank you so much for even for saying that. I'll make sure that you guys get each of you get a copy of it.
That'll work. That'll work.
I love getting the CDs. I love the line notes, so I can read my notes.
Now, when Gary posts this, now make sure you got on your glasses.
Yes, Papa Smurf.
And that's what I get, because I like to wear my contacts. I like to wear, but sometimes these lights make my eyes water with my contacts on and this. So I try to just go, I call myself, without my glasses, but that could be really challenging at times.
Well,
so
there's nothing wrong with when you wear glasses. Nothing wrong with that. We all grown folks up in here.
Right.
Glare when she wears her glasses, doing like a massive glare on her face.
Well,
because of the lighting.
Yeah, it always looks like I have two, another pair of glasses on when I'm in these lights. with the glasses, another pair. So it's not really the best kind of look. So I try to go with just my contacts, but then I can't with this light. So anywho.
I can understand that, but I was gonna say I got a friend, boy. His glasses so thick he look like a frog peeping through ice.
I want to ask you about your YouTube channel. Is it Essence of Jazz?
Essence of Jazz actually did. They posted something about you, so something about you is on my YouTube. But Essence of Jazz did. Yeah, Michon.
I guess I need to put music behind it, right? Michon Young music.
If you put Michon Young, it should bring you up. You do just Michon Young.
Okay. No, not have car. Michael. Other people are posting your stuff on their channel. That happened to me. I have some.
Yeah, that's.
They uploaded it, and I'm going, "Who are you?" But since they put an ad on it, I said, "Okay, I'll let it go."
Yeah, it should be. It should be. Well, it was as of yesterday. Hopefully, things do change within 24 hours. But it should be just Michon Young. You should see my YouTube. Subscribe up under. You don't see that at all. That's odd.
I think something might be happening weird with YouTube today because me and Grizz, we were trying to post the actual show today, right before we actually was coming on, and every post that we would try to do that on Facebook, for some reason or another, it wouldn't lock in the link of the post. It just had Google something about YouTube, and then that was it. So I think they're doing something over there.
I'm definitely gonna go check it out when we're done.
Yeah,
just
check
to.
it.
Because that's and we just uploaded something. I want to say just yesterday or the day before, so I know it's there. But I'll check into that. That's interesting.
I looked again and I see I found something about you, but it's Soul Spasm. SOULSPAZM.
Yeah, you should see Michon Young and then my YouTube channel, but. We'll check it out to make sure everything is up on. It's the way it should be. I appreciate that. Thank you.
You bet. All right, Gary, back to you.
Okay. Well, let's everybody say our goodbyes and everything. But I'd like first of all thank Michon again for definitely hanging out with us. We had so much fun with you, and glad you stayed with us throughout the whole show. We really enjoyed having our guests stay with us. So thank you very much, and continue success. All right.
Thank you so much. Thank you guys so much. This was a blast. I feel like I have some new brothers and sisters in Texas. So thank you so much.
Absolutely.
And Oklahoma.
Yeah.
I'm just
Gary.
I just want to thank you for giving me that compliment of that wisdom.
Yes, sir. That's salt and pepper goatee.
Yes.
All right, well, everybody. Well, everybody have a great weekend. Please join us.
All right, you too.
Next week, and in fact, I'm gonna let Ray and Joyce say goodbye, and Grizz is gonna tell us what's up for next week.
Well, the only thing I can say, Michon, is glad to see you here, and enjoyed you, and everybody, see you later. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Joyce?
She's frozen.
Oh, she froze? Okay. All right, Grizz, well, go ahead then.
Okay. All right. Well, I want to thank again Michon for being on the show today. And Audley Reed, thank you. Because of him, that's how I got to know who Michon was.
Audley.
So thanks, Audley. Thank you for that. Just want to thank everyone for tuning in. And for the people on Facebook, sorry that I couldn't get over there. But I was able to kind of get some names of who was in the chat room over there. So thanks for tuning in. Have a great weekend, everyone. Be safe, stay hydrated. And next week, we have a double team up. We have Kia Michaels. She's going to be on our show. And Wilfred Felix will be on the show as well.
Yeah.
Oh, because they both have new singles out, and so we're gonna have them on next week. So please join us. Yes, invite a friend. Okay, so that way we can have a bigger audience every week, hopefully. So help us grow that brand and help us reach our goal.
Absolutely.
All right. So everyone, again, take care.
And let Joyce say something. Joyce, you got stuck on us there. Why are you trying to...
Now she's gone.
Oh.
She gone.
Oh, she gone. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
She gone.
Well,
Ciao. Oh, there she is again.
Oh, there's...
Hold on.
There you... Okay.
There she is. She's just waving.
Okay. All right, everybody. We'll see you next week. Y'all have a great weekend.
Ciao.